All right. Is everyone here? Ants!
Yes, sir!
Roaches!
Yeah, what of it?
Rodents!
Let's get this cheese!
All right, come on, everyone, settle down, please. Look, we all know why we're here. We'll be eating like queens when we're through with this. That pantry's finally ours. Nobody can stop us now. Charge! No, there's no way. It can't be. It's Old Colony! Old Colony Pest Control. Veteran-owned Massachusetts, Rhode Island-based operation with everything you could dream of for your pest needs. Equipped with top-of-the-line gear to guarantee your home is protected and staying healthy. Phone number is 774-400-5993. Give them a call for the backup you need. Tell them that General Red Revere sent you. They handle anything from ants, roaches, ticks, mosquitoes, rats, and more.
No wildlife or termites at this time.
Hey, watch it, buddy. We're marching.
Phenom Radio is the home of the hottest indie music. Tune into the Phenom Radio Top 20 Countdown, Monday through Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific.
A razor sharp pencil, raise your paws pencil, when the sun...
A better job, a better home, a better life. Who hasn't wished for these things, worked for them, and sought a place where they had a better chance of becoming real? For generations, Brockton has welcomed those seeking something better. From those who came in search of opportunity to today's multicultural population that makes us the most diverse community in all of New England. Brockton is a place where homes are more affordable, communities closer, where a strong and talented workforce fuels the success of businesses big and small, and the vision of a more diverse and equitable America is being realized every day. It's where ideas take root, businesses grow, communities thrive, new beginnings unfold, and the promise of a better life is kept. Brockton, Massachusetts, where better begins.
Time to grow up. You got a problem with your self-esteem and ego. Oh, here we go again. It's time to grow up now.
Yeah, I'ma run it up. Why the fuck you think you flexing with $100? Yeah, can I talk to you for a second?
This is Motion with Randy.
Yeah, you see me? Bring it, come get me. Ass fat, but the waist so slimming.
Quisiera estar contigo y recordar de nuevo todo lo que hicimos, cuánto nos queremos.
I came to do the damn thing, cause I do the damn thing, so I guess the damn thing is getting done. I ain't popping champagne, this ain't a campaign, I ain't running, no, actually you should run. No comparing, clearly you can't hang, such a damn shame, man, you ain't never won. Life ain't a fair game, I'm just an airplane flying through, maybe you should see if you can get you one.
We're out of time.
lesson from my neighborhood.
Shootouts can be very dangerous. So when you're walking down the street and find yourself in the middle of one, don't run. Instead, duck, dodge, and roll. If you hear gunshots and you don't want to die, gotta duck, dodge, and roll.
Yeah.
You'll have a better chance of staying alive if you duck, dodge, and roll.
Okay.
Don't be like Bobby, who lost his head. He ran around in circles and now he's dead. If you want to stay alive, do this instead. Duck, dodge, and roll. If you hear a hail of bullets from a semi-automatic, gotta duck, dodge, and roll. Remember as you run away to keep your moves erratic, gotta duck, dodge, and roll. See how that worked? There's just one thing to do when you gotta get away. Keep bobbing and a-weaving, there's no need to be afraid, 'cause this is not a drill and you're not an anarchist. Just remember, duck, dodge, and roll. Duck, dodge, and roll.
Duck, dodge, and roll.
This is Black C representing Green Light Music Group. You're now listening to The Booth on hoobazoo.com. Get with it with my homie Sinister. Get green!
It's caught in the crossfire.
And Jimmy. Get lost, Jimmy.
Just because you're not playing does not mean you're not a player.
Scott McGusky.
Hey, you got any honeys you liking?
Lisa, she's pretty fly.
Word? Same name as my girl.
Give me the ball, Jimmy.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
This is blasphemy. This is madness. This is the booth.
All right, your boy Sinister One broadcasting live from the City of Champions. You are watching The Booth. It is March 14th, 2023, and I know everybody's pissed off. We had November, we had December, we had January, we had February here in the Northeast, and we had absolutely no snow. We had a measly 1/10 of an inch of snow in all those months. Then February 2nd happens, Tuxney Phil goes out, 6 more weeks of winter, and here we are, March 14th. We got a major nor'easter hitting us right now. Some areas are going to see in the upwards of 10 inches of snow in the month of March. We just did spring ahead. So I know a lot of y'all are pissed off right now, and rightfully so. Before I kick off the show and you see my guest already up there in the window, a big thanks to my guest from last week. First Tuesdays, Kenneth Diesenhof, Robert Resnick. Thanks for coming on, guys. We broke down a lot of politics. We broke down a lot of legal stuff, talked a little bit of sports. But this week, before I get into my sponsors, as you guys can see my man up here, let him know, man, Jason, Booth alum. This is a guy we never really put a face to the voice. You've been on the show 3 times, many, many years ago. You actually came to me through a talent agent out in California. That's somebody, I'm not sure if it was Scott Sedita or somebody else. It was somebody that put us in touch with you. You had this music that you was working on. That's how we first kind of hooked up with my man, Jason. Introduce yourself before I get into my sponsors, man.
Yeah, my name is Jason Hemmens. I'm a multi-instrumentalist, vocalist. I do original music. It's a combination of funk, R&B, and jazz, pop music, just kind of all melted into one. I've been based in California for the last couple of decades now. I was actually born in Boston, but I grew up in Maine, and then I studied music at the University of New Orleans. And I also do martial arts. Yeah, and it's good to be back. It's good to be back on the show.
And it's great to have you because, like I said, when you were on the show, we were at WXBR AM. We had you on several times, so nobody was ever able to put the face with the voice. But let me get into my sponsors because I got something I got to tell you because something did come up many, many years ago when I first really thought about you and where have you been. Michael Douglas Barreto, MDB Electronics. If you have controllers that need to be fixed, send them out to him. 24, 48 hours, you're back to gaming. Also available now, Viana Marie, It's Personal. This album's available everywhere. It's on fire. I got to give a big shout out to Phenom, Hot Radio 100. Last night, her song hit their website. They were playing the record live on their Spotify list. She placed top 2 in one of her playlists for Artist of the Week. And on another one of their playlists, she placed in the top 5 out of 100. So big shout out to Phenom Radio. You saw their banner before the show, and we're going to give them some love again at the end of the show. Also, Tactical Target Systems. When I go to the range, those zombie targets you see, that's where you get them from, tacticaltargetsystems.com. Also, those who support the show, you have a chance to win an I Love Boston Sports t-shirt. As you can see, the people there supporting those. And Viana Marie just did a photo shoot with Kimberly Ann, Women's Empowerment Photography. This is a woman who lets women take photos that they think they would never, ever, ever take in their lives. She makes you feel comfortable. The setting's great. And as you can see right there, my artist, Viana Marie, is right there. Kimberly Ann, Empowerment, Women Empowerment Photography. Reach out to her. I think a session's like around $350. I don't know offhand, but check her out. She's on Facebook. She's everywhere. She's on Instagram. And before we get into the news booth, I got my man Jason up here in the corner. And the funny thing is, Jason, when I thought about you and I hadn't had you on a while was when Bruno Mars hit the scene. And I'm like, damn, does Jason know that Bruno stole his whole look? My man, look, the first thing I thought of when I first saw Bruno Mars was Jason Hemmens. I was like, holy Christ, man. And I'm wondering if you guys ever crossed paths or if you ever had the luck to either meet this guy. So, because you could be like his twin, for Christ's sake. It's crazy.
No, absolutely. I definitely got a lot of comparisons. When he first came on the scene, our look and stuff, and even some of our music. But to me, he was definitely a breath of fresh air. His utilization of live instruments and his showmanship was something I thought was missing from pop music for a minute. So it was a breath of fresh air for sure.
He brought that whole 70s, 80s feel back to music. He made music fun again. And I know, everything I feel like he touches, he puts a hit on it. And I remember when I heard their last project. Him and Silk Sonic got together, and I remember when I first heard "Smoking Out the Window." The first day I heard that, I said, "That's a Grammy." This is gonna be a problem. How do you feel when you hear a song like that, or how do you feel when you're in the studio? Because sometimes there's songs I feel like if you're in the studio, you just know. A song like that, you just know. I mean, how'd you feel when you first hear a song like that as a musician?
We know the musicality is really what touches me, just like the intricacy of the instruments, but also like a great melody that's catchy and fun. And you know, definitely that song in particular has all those elements, you know. But I will say, like, a lot of what makes a hit is the marketing behind it. You can have a great song, but if you don't have the proper marketing behind it, you know, it won't reach those heights, you know. But musically speaking, like that song, like I first heard it, I could tell it had all the elements of a hit, you know, but you need the marketing to really achieve that.
Right. And as you guys know, Jason, when Jason came on this show, he was actually a vocalist. He was recording artist, he was doing songs. But now, most recently, Jason actually has this stint that he does. He's now really got into playing the saxophone. And it looks like you've got yourself a nice little residency, right? You're playing weekly out there, out west?
Yeah, I have a Sunday residency at this place called the San Antonio Winery in Los Angeles. And so, yeah, I play my saxophone there every Sunday. And it's been a great place for me to make new fans and really just, you know, keep my chops going, and also like play new music and stuff and see how people react to that. You know, I've been working on a saxophone album, and some of the songs that are going on the album I've kind of been testing at this residency just to see how people respond to it and stuff. So it's been really a cool blessing to have, you know. But I've been a saxophonist for many years, and a lot of my fans have really wanted like a saxophone oriented project, you know? And so it was finally time for me to do that. So this new project I'm working on, it's all instrumental, you know, it's all saxophone based music. And so, you know, I'm really, it's something I've wanted to do for a while, but also it's something that, you know, my fans have wanted from me for a while. And so I'm finally getting to do it. And, you know, I've been working with this producer, and we started this project really as the pandemic happened, and we kind of worked all through the COVID pandemic. And yeah, so over 2 years now, we've been working on these songs and just producing, and we're actually, you know, we've kind of narrowed it down to 8 songs that are going on the album, and we're just fleshing everything out. But we're hoping to have, you know, something for release like later this year, whether it be a single or the whole project finished in its entirety.
Nice. Now, if we were to go to this winery and see a Jason Hemmens show, what do we get? Is it a laid back kind of show and you just sip your wine, or is it a fun filled show? You know, is it something that, you know, you get everybody kind of involved? What would we see if we go out there?
Yeah, so for this particular residency at the San Antonio Winery, it's more of a chill vibe. You know, everyone's sipping their wine, and they also there's a restaurant, so people are eating and stuff. So it's very chill, very relaxed. But people do get into it as well. You know, every once in a while, people will get up and dance or you know, clap along and stuff. But for the most part, it's just kind of like a chill, you know, just kind of mellow vibe for this particular residency. Yeah.
Nice. Now we talked off air, but I gotta talk about this, is because, you know, I've been following you on Instagram. I see a lot of this stuff, and you're very out there now with the martial arts. And I'm like, wow, he's saxophone now, but then I seen you doing this martial arts thing. And then off air, you tell me you actually have opened the school, and you've actually been involved with martial arts for a long time, but you've decided to take this. So tell us about your school, because I'd like people to know about your school and what you got going on, and then how you translate and bring in your martial arts to make you a better artist and a better performer.
Absolutely. So the name of this martial art that I teach and study is called Kuk Sool. It's actually the national martial art of Korea, and it's a system of martial art rather than a style. Like if you look at Taekwondo, for example, that's a style of martial art that's mostly based around kicking and stuff. Whereas Kuk Sool, what we do, it kind of combines a lot of different styles into one system. So we have joint locks, we have throws, we have grappling, we have weapons, we have meditation. It's really like more of a lifestyle than it is just like, a sport. And so, I've been studying this martial art on and off for over 20 years now. And about a little over 3 years ago, I actually opened a school with my family. And the school is doing really good. We got a couple hundred students now, and I really feel like we're helping to change the community. One thing we really emphasize in the martial art is etiquette, respect, discipline. So it kind of instills those qualities in our practitioners. A lot of them are young kids. An opportunity to be challenged in this way. So we're really excited about it. The way we can kind of see it's transforming people's lives and the community as a whole.
Nice. And like I said, you bring this martial arts into your music, and you said it helps you, it kind of stabilizes you. It helps you on stage, and it helps you prepare. It helps keep you focused.
Absolutely. I mean, it helps with your focus, your discipline, your overall like health, your flexibility, just your mental strength. And it gives you a foundation of a physical discipline to practice that's something that you can do for the rest of your life. It's really for all ages. And so, I encourage everyone to check it out. There's schools all over the world with this Kuk Sool martial art. And so, I definitely would suggest people check it out. And it's something that, you can do as, no matter what age you are. Our youngest students are around 3 to 4 years old. And, we have students as well. So, and everyone in between. So it's really something that everyone can practice and improve themselves from.
Nice. And I've seen you've been able to do some car shows and stuff as being a musician. Was it Lamborghini or Ferrari? It was what car was it that you actually did the debut of? And I was super envious of you, because I'm like, damn, he got lucky. Was it Lamborghini?
It was a DeLorean.
Oh, yes!
It was DeLorean, so...
yes! Oh!
Yeah. They had all these futuristic cars that they were unveiling. It was during a car week. So, yeah, there was all these other cars, but I performed for DeLorean. And, they had the Back to the Future classic car. We got to see that. And then they had some futuristic electric cars and stuff that were just pretty mind blowing. So it was definitely cool to be a part of that.
I saw that. I was like, yeah, it was the DeLorean, because I was like, oh shoot, they're bringing the DeLorean back, and I was like, oh my god, I was so envious. I'm like, man, and I was like, I got it. I said, I haven't had this guy in the show. I got to get him on the show for a minute. Hey, I got a lot of people in the chat. Actually, I got some performers in the chat. Members of BBM are in the chat. China Courtney, she's in the chat. What's going on, guys? I'm chatting with recording artist Jason Hemmens. Actually, my artist Deanna Marie's in the chat. DJ Boom's in the chat. Felicia, what's going on? I see you guys in the chat. These guys are here. They're working hard in the Boston area. BBM, Bad Bitch Mob. holding it down. Vianna Marie. Jason, just give him some plugs. Tell him some stuff as an artist. If you guys need a saxophonist, let them know your social media, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've done quite a bit of session work for people who need a saxophone on their records. You know, I write. I have a home studio, so if you need some saxophone on your tracks, definitely hit me up. And I play a few other instruments too. I play keyboards and some guitar and harmonica. So you know, I utilize all those instruments for recordings. So if you need me, you can reach me at Jason Hemmens, and JASONHEMMENS on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. And you can reach out to me there, and I'd be happy to collaborate with all of you.
Now, I know Vianna's been trying to definitely link up with a guitarist, but she's always wanted to perform with a live band. Now, when you do your show at this residency, is it just you with a saxophone, or do you have a backing band? What do you have? Do you have a keyboard that's drumming all that? What do you have for a backing band?
Yeah, so for this particular show, it's just me, and I play to tracks. So it's just me playing to tracks.
Oh, okay.
So it sounds like a live band, but it's just me with some backing tracks. And, you know, it's been a good low stress way for me to just, you know, perform by myself and have a residency. You know, I love performing with a band as well, but for this particular gig, it's just me and some backing tracks.
Oh, we gotta get out there. And the fact that you just, you know, you go, you can have some food, you sip your wine, you know, you're out there in San Antonio, man, it sounds like a good little vibe, you know, and it's relaxed. There's not that hustle and bustle like we have up here in the Northeast, you know, where it never stops. You know, you can have a residency up here, but it's like you never, like the Bellows and them, they got their residencies up here, and they never stop. DJ Boom, he's doing his open mic night on Friday night down in Fall River, and you know, up here everybody's fast paced. We don't slow down. We don't sip the wine. We guzzle it. So it would be nice to come out there and be able to just sit down, have a nice meal, and sip on some wine and just listen to you play the saxophone. I mean, it'd be great. It would definitely be great to come out there and check you out, and would love to see you come out here too. I know you were trying to get out here a way back, and I don't think it ever happened, but I think it's something trying to see if you were coming out here. But if you're ever out this way, please let me know.
Absolutely. I would love to. You know, I haven't done any shows on the East Coast in a minute, you know, but you know, my parents still live in Maine, so, and I have family in Boston. And so I would love to come up there and perform and just hang out, you know, and that's definitely something I intend to do once I finish the saxophone record. I'm going to be doing some touring and stuff. And, you know, New England is definitely on the map for that. So I will be there at some point once this record's finished. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'd love to see something different. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to let you again tell everybody your social media and how they can get in touch with you and how they can follow you. Please let them know before we get you out of here.
Yes, you can follow me at Jason Hemmens, JASONHEMMENS, on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And that's really the best way to reach me right now. You can hear some of my music on Spotify. It's also on iTunes and, you know, every other digital outlet. So you can check my music out there. And I have new music on the way. I'm really excited about the saxophone record. I think it's going to reach a lot of different people who wouldn't normally listen to saxophone music. The producer I'm working with is primarily a hip hop producer. And so it has a lot of elements of hip hop in there, kind of combined with some jazz flavor to it. So it hits hard too, you know, like this album is really going to reach a lot of people, but it's got an underlying hip hop tone to it. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay. So when you get ready to release that or drop the first video, definitely hit me up, because I definitely want to get you on my appetizer and get that video in there. And we're definitely going to bring you back on to talk about this project, because I know you're working hard on it. I know you're trying to get this out. And you said 8 tracks. But yeah, this hip hop saxophone, I mean, that we've had a hip hop violinist. You know, we need this. We need this. And, you know, if you come out here, it's great stuff. So, man, love having you on. Love having this discussion with you, because it's been a long time, man. It's been a super long time.
It's been too long, and you know, I'm super excited to be you know, back doing it. You know, you were actually this is the first interview I've done in quite a while, you know, just because I've been behind the scenes working on the music, getting it right, and but now I'm getting closer to finish with the project, and you're definitely top of the list as far as, you know, people I want to interview with. And you know, I appreciate you, Sinister One. Like, you've always shown love, you know, and you've been a big supporter of mine, and I look forward to continuing this for sure.
Well, I'm pretty sure a lot of your follows and stuff are going to go up, because I actually have a ton of music artists tonight in the chat. I see Music Man, David John Kendrick, aka Music Man, rapper Infamous Ma from BBM, the third member of BBM. She's out here. He's listening to the show. So don't be surprised if you get a bunch of people following you, and all of a sudden in your inbox about you possibly coming with saxophone skills to Massachusetts. Because, to be honest, we really don't have that type of stuff here. Everybody wants to rap, or everybody wants to sing. We don't really see people doing that up here. You know, the saxophonist. It's tough to get a guitarist. You know, it's so weird up here. So we would love to have you come through, and then maybe if we know ahead of time, maybe put something together, some type of show, a little something somewhere, and definitely going to do this. Felicia says she's definitely going to look him up. Jason Hemmens, guys, JASONHEMMENS. Follow him on Instagram. Do you have a Twitter?
Yes, it's at Jason Hemmens as well.
Okay, all right, and he's also on Facebook, everybody. So check him out. Like I said, my man, I'm super envious of him, because he just did that DeLorean show. Man,
lots of cool things are happening in the works, you know, and this saxophone project for me is going to be, you know, a whole new venture, you know, a whole new opportunity, getting into different festivals and stuff, you know. So I'm super excited to kind of venture into some instrumental music.
Nice. And you've got the,
you know,
chat.
I think, you know, on my first album, on my first album, you know, I had 4 instrumental songs on there, so it was kind of a little sample of my saxophone there. But this next project, it's full out saxophone. There's no vocals at all. The saxophone is doing all the talking. So I'm super excited about it. I think a lot of people are really going to dig it, you know, but yeah, I look forward to coming back on the show once I have that finished. You know, you're definitely top of the list, Sinister One.
Cool,
so I
man.
appreciate you.
Cool. A lot of ladies in the chat, and I'm just going to warn him real quick. He's a martial artist. So when you go on that Instagram, you think you're going to be seeing him playing a lot of the saxophone pictures. He got them no shirt martial artist shirt pictures on Instagram. So all these ladies they're gonna go on your site thinking they're gonna see you on there with a saxophone, and then they're gonna see you on there doing your martial arts stuff with the shirt off. They're gonna be, hold up.
Yeah, no, a lot of what I post on there is lifestyle related to, you know, I ride motorcycles. I have a lot of pictures and stuff on there, me riding motorcycles. But you know, martial arts is a huge part of what I do. And then the music stuff, you know, I've just been quietly behind the scenes, like working on this project. But don't worry, ladies, you're gonna see a lot more saxophone pictures. Like now that I'm kind of project, it's gonna be tons of saxophone stuff. So don't worry about that. I got it.
All right, man. I want to thank you for coming on the show. I want to thank everybody in the chat. The show's not over yet. I got to get into the rest of my show, but we're going to take a quick break here, and then I'll be back with more Booth after this. Hold tight, man.
What? Yeah, see, I ain't ever been betrayed by an enemy. That shit is only ever come from them saying friend to me. They soul is black, soaking up all of my backup energy. I feel the drain through all the pain, depletes in its entirety. It's piracy, and any thought of reconciling blind to me. You were my people that I chose, you were my family. And didn't realize what you had, your bad need clarity. Because respect is something earned, you can't use bribery. You thought I was a sheep and I would fall in line. But a real bitch tell it like it is, that's fast as here's my dime. Y'all out here out your ever loving minds. You had no idea the kind of storm of shit you would find. If you forgotten, we can go ahead and press rewind. Receipts is never something from me, never fall behind. I didn't come at no one crazy, you showed your behinds. I never come for folks, but for you I'll make the time.
Green life. It's your boy Black C. Let me talk to him, V. Check. Listen, is you living well? Scratch that, is you living real? Tell me what your grind like, do it pay the bills? Just overlooking the field, or do you play for real? Cause look, I'm trying to build, I ain't got time to chill. It's going down, avalanche, hotter than the bayou, I'm seasoned, Zatarans. They so in love with the cocoa. Put a star on their head, they tone Romo. Give them the glow, they some hopes for the hype. Not just lyrics that I write, put my soul through this mic. Like a breeze, way I blow through. Want it bad as you breathe, gotta go harder than.
All right, your boy Sinister One broadcasting live from the City of Champions. You are watching The Booth. I got to thank my man Jason Hemmens for coming on the show, holding it down. I actually put his Instagram link in the chat, but he does have a Twitter. He does have a Facebook, but I put the Instagram on there because that's what he told me to put out there. So I put it out there, and Facebook is out there. And again, Jason Hemmens, thank you for coming on the show. Felicia, what's going on? I see Felicia out here. Let me drop this for Felicia's daughter because she's a fan of the show, and I'm gonna do this for Felicia's daughter. Here we go.
Sit down.
I actually had to bring her mother a shirt, and her daughter was like, "That's a sit-down guy." I believe Felicia did tell me a story that she said that to someone in school. I believe, sit down. Good stuff. Thank you, everybody in the chat, holding it down. Let me get into the news booth here at 7:30. In the news booth, if you've been listening to the news, in Brockton, a 14-year-old boy was shot dead, and the mother, Julente, and I'm going to butcher this name, Resende, I believe her last name was. She was shot, and another child was also injured. This was at 2 a.m. She's 38 and 39. Looks like her and her boyfriend were having an argument. They're on and off again argument. And, you know, ladies, I got a lot of ladies in the chat. And here's the thing, you know, they had a history, the history, and this guy, history of abuse. And he, neighbors and people are saying that he was screaming, "Look what you made me do." That's the type of shit that an abuser, look what you made me do. You then shot this girl, and you shoot another bullet and hit another child, and then you shoot it again, and it goes through, I believe it went through the wall and hit the other child while he was sleeping in the bed and killed him. Look what you made me do. Now he's in court covering up his face with his shirt, not wanting to be seen. Sad. I hope he gets his. Also, in New York, in the news booth, about 17 kids ransacked this Chinese food restaurant in New York City. 17 kids ransacked a Chinese food restaurant in the Bronx. in the Bronx. No, Queens. A Chinese food restaurant, I believe it was in Queens. Look, so this one's going to tell you something right now. If you know any of these 17-year-old kids, you are damn lucky it's 2023 up in this piece. Because I'll tell you something right now. When I was younger, I wasn't that good of a person. I did some stupid stuff as a kid, as a teenager. But I learned real quick, I had 4 incidents when I was younger. 4 that I remember distinctively when it involves people from the Chinese community. That's going to let you know Chinese people and businesses is not the one to mess with. So I don't know who these 17 kids are, but first of all, Chinese people don't F with banks. Chinese people keep all their money in the house, and Chinese people also associate real tight with members of that Chinese mafia, the Yakuza. Now, I learned real quick not to mess around. Now, I told you 4 times. 4 times. I learned my lesson real quick that you don't mess around in a Chinese restaurant. When we were younger, we used to go to Chinatown late at night in Boston. Why? Because in Chinatown, you go to Chinatown and you ask for cold tea at 2, 3 in the morning. You go to movies, or you at the club, or you underage, you going to Boston, you ask for cold tea. Cold tea is beer. That's what you used to get when you was younger. You used to get beer. And guess what? We were in a certain restaurant one night, ordered our food. Food hadn't come yet. We was waiting. Food came. When the food came, a group of people came in. Cars had pulled up right up front where you're not supposed to pull up front, but they came up. They came in. Oh, DJ Boom knows. DJ Boom knows about the cold tea. When you was younger, you go right to Chinatown, cold tea. Y'all know what that was about. So we were in there, and I'm not going to say what restaurant we was in, but we got our food, and they said, we got to move you. We was like, move us? We ain't moving. We just got our food. You made us wait. You know how it is. You're 17, 16, 17. You know how it is. Under 21, but you think you own the world. You just got your license or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We ain't moving. We weren't going to move. It was me, well, 8 of us. You know how it is. It was like 4 of us were guys, and it was like 3 girls. It was like, I think it was like 5 guys and 3 girls. You know how it is. You're trying to show off. And I remember distinctively when it was, because it was after the Brockton Fair. It was after the Brockton Fair, and we decided to go into Boston to get some cold tea. And guy said, hey, you all going to have to move. We need this table. We need this area. So, we get kind of loud or whatever. And I remember distinctively, this old black guy coming up to me. Say, hey, if I was you, I'd get out of here and move the table. Because if you don't move, your parents ain't going to see you again. That Chinese mafia. That's all he said to us. Chinese mafia sits here. When they come, this is where they sit. The black guy told us. And you know what? As soon as that black dude told me Chinese mafia, we got up, we moved, and they came in. We didn't even look at them. They took our table, they moved our food to a whole different area. That was number 1. The second time I learned about messing with Chinese businesses was when I was 21 working at the MBTA. We used to go to a strip club down in Chinatown. Last Slipper, I think it was, which was this well-known Chinese strip club owned by Chinese dudes. And many people have lost their lives outside that strip club. We went in there one night. I was like 21, 22 years old, working at the T, making good money, not married, single, pockets always full of money. I had a little stripper there that I liked, so I go there on Friday nights, and there was always this little Chinese old dude. He was always, he'd be tipping the two. one night I was in my feelings. You know what I'm saying? You know how you think you're gonna go home with a stripper. So I went over there and I started giving the 10s and 5s. And the bartender, the girl comes over to me and she's like, hey, are you tipping this girl right here? I'm like, yeah. Like, oh, that's his favorite. Might want to find another stripper. So I'm like, what? I'm like, this old man, blah, 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 blah. Again, Chinese mafia. High ranking Chinese mafia to the point where this man was in the Boston Herald and Boston Globe. High ranking old dude Chinese mafia. And he wasn't dressed like, you know, like the movies show you the Yakuza. You know how they always have the finest clothes and all this stuff? This dude wasn't dressed like any Yakuza. This dude had like a button-down flannel type shirt type thing on, a pair of musty jeans, and some loafers, some white dingy-ass loafers at the strip club. If you had told me this man was Yakuza, I'd have laughed in your face. The waitress told me that. I was like, nope. Nope. Sorry. The third time that I learned you don't mess with Chinese people, the third time, right here in the city of Brockton, we had a Chinese food restaurant on Main Street. Well known. Everybody went there. Everybody went there. They didn't card you. You go there and you get your Mai Tais and you get the Scorpion Bowls. When we were younger, that was you go there for Scorpion Bowls because they didn't card you. And when you're 19, 20 years old and you start drinking a Scorpion Bowl and think you're gonna drink, you get messed up. Well, one night we went there and we pulled a chewing screw. Wa Sons, yes, Felicia, Wa Sons. We went in the Wa Sun one night. It was like 10 of us. We pulled the chewing screw. Rest your soul, Devin, up above. We pulled the chewing screw. They came out and chased us with butcher knives down Main Street. We was running, we was laughing, running down Main Street, laughing. Yeah. Ate that food, left them, stiffed them with the bill. Oh, we laughed. Must have been about 60, 70 bucks of food. Like we killed it. We laughed. Now, this is a true story. That's number 3, because they was chasing us with butcher knives. Now, the number 4 reason why I don't mess with Chinese people in Chinese restaurants and Chinese businesses, the number 4 is related to the number 3 reason. Here I am, many years down the line, just before Wa Sun was about to close. They announced that they was gonna be closing. That area was bought up and they were closing. Wa Sun was closing. So I went there on a date. Your boy Sinister One. I went there on a date to Wa Sun. Thought I was the man. Had my date, had our drinks, had our food, had our nice little conversation. The dude come out. Know how they bring that little plastic thing out with the 2 fortune cookies in your bill? They put it down. I look down at the bill. The bill was $200 and something. And I'm like, what? Like, nah, bro. Like, we didn't order all this food. This isn't this. Your bill, the guy says to me. Nah, I'm on a date. Now, I had 2 things I could have did. I could have argued it and let the angry black man come out, or just be humble and pay the bill. So I had to make a decision. Which way am I going to go? I'm on this date. I could bring the black man out or be humble and pay this bill if they had a reason why I needed to pay this bill. So I said, I'm not paying this bill. You need to give me a manager or something. So the guy goes, okay. Like, okay, I'll be back. So he left. Now my date is sitting there. She's looking at me But I'm like, yeah, I don't know how they, and she was trying to figure it out. So this old dude comes out. This is a true story. This is a true effing story. Reason number 4. This old dude come out and says, you pay bill, you owe $72.90. Oh my God. $72.90. We had you on camera, remembered you. Remember. This dude took my face, my picture. I was one of the people that they recognized from that time we chewed and screwed. And he had that bill. Swear to God, they had that tab hanging on the wall near the register, waiting for the day one of us of our group would come back in so they could whack us for that bill. Now, I told a friend of mine who is Chinese about this, and he said, it don't surprise me. It don't surprise me. They remembered they had the tab from that night that we ran out on was hanging at the register. They was waiting. And I'm not talking like this is 5 or 10. This was many years later. Like I'm older. I'm older. And they remembered. And they was like, no, you owe. You ran out. You no pay. Years ago, long time ago, the guy said to me. I was like, whoa, I paid it. What could I do? What could I say? I paid it. Because you know why? Because then my mind flashed back to that PTSD of running down Main Street with 2 Asian dudes chasing us with their aprons on with teriyaki stains on it and meat cleavers. Viana Marie said, prove it. Look, I remembered that night when they chased us. So when the dude said it was my bill, look, I wasn't arguing it. Because I'm like, man, damn, bro. They held on to it. And I was saying to myself, how many other people they do this to that did a chew and screw? Jacob Taggart says he's surprised he didn't put that bill in the fortune. Jacob Taggart's from Brockton. He knows what, son. Right, Felicia? You pay now. You eat all food. Trust and believe me, he hit me with that bill, boy. I'm like, these dudes, and then, you know what? And I ain't gonna lie, I had a little bit of respect for him. Because I'm like, damn, y'all held this tab for this long by the register up on, and it wasn't just my bill, there was other bills up there, so they had to remember people. I was like, Jacob said, I paid my bills, they crazy. So these young whippersnappers who are 17 who trashed this Chinese restaurant in Queens, I wish you luck. Because if it's connected to the Yakuza or some people like that, you 17-year-old, 16-year-old teenagers, you might be 23, 24, 30, 40 years old, and you're going to catch for what you just did this past weekend in New York. So those are my 4 true reasons why I don't mess with Chinese businesses. Hell no. Hell no. Thank you guys. I love you guys for tuning in. Felicia said, I remember when they had a secret room in the back. Yep. Let's get into the legal booth. 746. Career criminal here in Massachusetts, Shawn Murphy's back in prison after fundraising for homeless vets, violating his parole. This guy is the biggest scumbags of scumbags in Massachusetts. This Shawn Murphy. This is the guy, if he looks familiar to you, remember when the Giants beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl? And remember when Balfour was in business and they had the contract to make the Super Bowl rings for the Super Bowls? And remember there was someone who broke into Balfour and stole the Giant Super Bowl rings and everybody was laughing? But those of us who know sports stuff was like, nah, man, that's wrong. This was the guy. He did that. He was in jail, serving his time. He was out on parole. You know what this scumbag did while he was out on parole? This scumbag got a secondhand Marine uniform, which he wasn't supposed to have because of this crap that he did. He was setting up at supermarkets wearing his Marine stuff like he was a Marine and taking donations for homeless veterans. Yet, when he was questioned about it, he says 100% goes to homeless veterans. No, it wasn't. It was going to him. And the reason why he got caught is because he ain't a vet. So he was at a supermarket one day, and another Marine noticed that stuff was out of whack. He didn't have things that should have been a certain way if he was truly a Marine, and he was questioned on it. He ended up taking his stuff and walking out, and then this Marine turned him in, and he got caught. So he's going right back to jail. Right back to jail. And you know something?
No, you done f***ed up, don't you? No, don't you?
You done effed up. Also, even I, hold on, even I make mistakes sometimes. I messed up. And here's what I did.
Stop doing that! Stop!
Sometimes you try to get things out to people when you do a show. And last week, Shawn Kemp was brought in, booked on a shooting drive-by charge. Shawn Kemp. Everybody knows Shawn Kemp. He's one of the best Seattle Supersonics players out there. Shawn Kemp was brought in, booked on a shooting charge in a drive-by shooting. Everybody's tweeting about it. 24 hours later, pump the brakes. Shawn Kemp released, wasn't even involved in the shooting. He will face no charges. The reason why I'm doing this is because when the first story came out, I was on it. I shared it. I tweeted it. I did everything about it. But I'm going to do my goodness. I'm going to do my good, admit my failure, my wrong, my failure. And then I'm going to let people know that Shawn Kemp was cleared, no charges, released. Why? Because there's a lot of MFers out there who ain't even talking about the fact that the charges have been dropped and he's not even cleared about it. I saw people still talking about, oh man, you hear about Shawn Kemp? He's getting locked up. No, he didn't. He got released less than 24 hours afterwards. So I just want to let people know, Shawn Kemp was released. No charges will be filed. He is a free man. He didn't shoot nobody. He wasn't involved in the drive-by shooting. Simple as that. In the legal booth, Sony chief Jim Ryan has been caught. Why? Y'all know about the Microsoft Activision merger when Microsoft Xbox was buying up all these companies going under during COVID. It was getting companies left and right. One of the companies that they acquired was Activision, which makes all the Call of Duty games. Now, Call of Duty isn't going nowhere. Microsoft already said it's going to be multi-platform, yet Activision was like, no, we don't want this. You guys are trying to monopolize the market and blah, 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 blah. When, let's be real here, Sony, for the longest time, owned 80% of the gaming market. So for them to turn around and be worried about this is hypocritical. Well, here's the problem now. Sony chief Jim Ryan was caught. He said that the only reason why he's making a stink about this was because he was blocking the merger. Not worried about this. He's not about it. He wants to block the merger. Even though he's been made considerable offers on the table from Microsoft. He's just trying. So that's going to screw him over. Pissed about that. Man, oh man, oh man. Getting into the entertainment booth. Matt Damon and Casey Affleck are going to be doing a movie here in Boston, filming for a week in the North End. Bova's Bakery. For those who know who Bova's Bakery is in the North End, they make them cannolis, son. And they're open 24 hours. So this is one of them spots that's like when you get out of the nightclub and you got that itching for something sweet, not food, but something sweet. You say, hey, let's go over to the North End. Let's go get some cannolis. You can go there 2, 3, 4 in the morning and get fresh cannolis, bakery goods, nice and hot out the oven, 24/7. Well, Bova's Bakery is closing for a week so they can film this movie. Now, somebody said, oh man, that's a good business. Hold on. You don't realize what's happening here. Casey Affleck and Matt Damon are essentially renting this place for 1 week. So obviously, first of all, they're going to get whatever they would make in 1 week as a business. Number one, they're going to make that and then some. So to be honest, they just hit the lottery. Because they're probably going to give them parts in this movie since they know how the place runs and how it, it operates. So the people who own it, they're probably going to be in the movie, number one. Number two, they're going to get reimbursed for that week that they're losing for being closed, and then they're going to be compensated for renting the place out for that week. Touching. Stop it. Stop it. Also, here in Boston, the Oscars was this week. Big ups to Ruth Carter, back-to-back, first black woman to win 2 Oscars back-to-back for Black Panther. When she did the costumes for Black Panther and I saw that trailer, I was like, she's getting an Oscar. On this show, she's getting an Oscar. When the trailer came out for Wakanda Forever, I said on this show, he's getting another Oscar. Why? Because Ruth Carter has been waiting for these Oscars for a minute. Ruth Carter did Malcolm X, didn't win an Oscar. She did, I forget what else she did. I want to say I think she did Selma and didn't get none of that. So Ruth Carter from Boston, big ups to you, back to back. And it was a big night for Boston. Big night for Boston in the Oscars because the movie of the year, Best Picture, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, Emerson College alumni, Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert, they were the ones who put this whole movie together. A majority of the people on this movie involved were from Boston. Jamie Lee Curtis took home Best Actress, Supporting Actress, and Best Actress was Michelle Yeoh, who I love. Michelle Yeoh is one of the most underrated Asian actresses out there. So to see Michelle take home a Best Actress award, oh man, come on now. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, The Joy Luck Club, come on, bro. Come on. She got a Disney movie that's coming out too. Oh man, she's been in the game for a minute. So big ups to her. Also, Brendan Fraser. Talked about this on the show when he got a standing ovation last year at the Cannes Film Festival when they showed this movie, The Whale. It was a 6-minute standing ovation. It was right then there on the show. I said, you're going to get the Oscar. Sure enough, he got the Oscar. Best Actor. Almost had me crying. Brendan Fraser. This is the guy who started his career out as Encino Man. I love it. I love it when guys graduate to becoming the echelon, the Tom Hanks, these guys who come up doing stupid stuff and then they end up being the most revered actors out there. Brendan Fraser, you're not doing no more Encino Man type of stuff. You might do another Mummy maybe. Is he going to go back to Doom Patrol if Doom Patrol comes back? Even though I know they're ending them on HBO Max, but he had a great role in Doom Patrol. So Brendan Fraser, big ups to him, Best Actor. Also in Entertainment Booth, man, Jonathan Majors is about to play Dennis Rodman 48 Hours in Vegas. This is a movie based on when Dennis Rodman took off from the Chicago Bulls during the championship series. Oh no, it was the playoffs. It was before the championships. It was just before. It was the playoffs before they went to the championships. And Dennis Rodman went MIA for 48 hours. And he, I believe he supposedly eloped with Madonna and all that crap. And then he came back and played his ass off. Jonathan Majors is going to play Dennis Rodman. Now, if you all just seen Creed 3, Jonathan Majors' body is not Dennis Rodman. So it is going to be amazing to see this transformation of Jonathan Majors becoming Dennis Rodman. He's got to lose a ton of weight. He's got to get a basketball. He's got to go from this jailhouse boxer body to this lanky, tall, slim Rodman body. And Rodman was tough up top. Don't get me wrong. Rodman was bulked up top. Rodman had strength. That's why he pulled boards. That's why Rodman could beat you up on the boards. But crazy body transformation. Crazy body transformation. Also, John Berthendahl is returning to the Punisher in the new Daredevil series. Called that one. That one, we saw that coming a mile away. Daredevil Born Again has the Kingpin returning, has Daredevil returning, has Jessica returning, Jessica Jones. The only one that's not confirmed to come back yet is Luke Cage, Mike Coulter, who's on Evil. And they already said the guy who plays Daniel Rand on Iron Fist, they already said he's a done deal. He's not coming back. I guess nobody liked him. I guess he was a real D-head behind the scenes. The guy who played Daniel Rand. So yeah. Also, WWE WrestleMania is coming up, but if you guys watch NXT last Sunday night, I thought this was a work. I thought when Roxanne Perez collapsed after her match, I thought it was a work. I thought, oh, wow, I'm like, this is a good storyline. They're taking this storyline right from the NFL. But then this week, WWE released a story, an update saying that she was released from the hospital. So it looks like that this was real. This wasn't a work. Also, WrestleMania is coming up. Rey Mysterio was announced as the first inductee to the Hall of Fame. He's actually wrestling his son at WrestleMania. Now don't get on me right now and say, Sister One, you're wrong. You're not wrestling. Blah, blah, blah. He was on Raw and he told his son he's not wrestling him. I know it. I know on Raw in Rhode Island on Monday night, he told his son he's not fighting him. I know it. But come on now. We know it's going to be Rey Mysterio against his son Dominic at WrestleMania. And I already have it kind of figured out because the WWE at WrestleMania has yet to pay their homage and their respect to the Lucha Libres, luchas are a big part of wrestling. And I'm just going to tell you guys right now, to be honest, the Lucha Libres were a big part of Nitro whooping WWE's ass back in the 90s. They had a good talent roster in WCW when Nitro was going against Raw. But I always look forward to the Lucha Libre matches on WCW with Rey Mysterio and those guys. They carried a good half hour of that WCW Nitro. And Jacob Tagger, I know you was watching that stuff back in the day. Felicia, I feel like they were a big part of that WCW success, and WWE knew that because WWE luchas was more of a gimmick thing in the WWE. It wasn't really serious. So they realized that, damn, okay, people are getting really excited for lucha matches in the WCW, and that's when they brung people over. And then the 619 and Rey Mysterio got his big name for himself in the WWE, but he'd already captured it for me when he was in WCW. That's my thing. So I'm honored to see him go in the first week of April at WrestleMania Hall of Fame. And this right here, it ruins the storyline for you, to be honest. We already know what's going to happen now. We already know. This is the passing of the torch to his son at WrestleMania. This is what this is. He's going into the Hall of Fame. He's going to retire. Question is does he lose and give his son the mask, or does he win? See, if he's passing the torch and this is to build Dominic Mysterio's career as a wrestler, he's got a job. He's got a job to his son at WrestleMania. He has to. He has to. If this is all about taking his son to the next level and putting his son over, Rey Mysterio has to lose in some way at WrestleMania. Has to. Eddie is Dom's poppy. My brother was saying the same thing, and he does. Dominic Mysterio does look like Eddie Guerrero. He does. The more he gets older, the more I'm like, wow, he looks like Eddie Guerrero. So we'll see. Also, guerrilla marketing is back. Guerrilla marketing is back. Let me show you guys this. If you've been around Boston, or if you're watching this show around the nation, if you're seeing this right here, if you're seeing this sign on poles around the country, need a car, date our son, send serious inquiries, this is what you call guerrilla marketing. Now, guerrilla marketing went away years ago because there was a Cartoon Network show that did some guerrilla marketing and they were putting these electronic devices around, and this was shortly after 9/11, and they caught hell. Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Aqua Teen Hunger Force had a movie coming out, and they had this guerrilla marketing where one of their characters, they were putting these little electronic things of one of their characters in all these weird places around places, but this was right after 9/11. So people were calling in possible bomb threats. And what happened was that they had to come out and say, oh, no, this is guerrilla marketing promotion for Aqua Teen Hunger Force. And this whole, it came to a stop. So it's glad to see guerrilla marketing is back. This is all part of guerrilla marketing for this new film called No Hard Feelings. And take a good look at this picture. Need a car? Date our son. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to show you guys this brand new trailer and it's a Red Band trailer. The 2 trailers I got for you tonight, the Red Band trailers. Here it is. Check it out. No Hard Feelings featuring Jennifer Lawrence. This generation's Private Lessons and My Two. Finally, we have one of these movies. It's been years since we've had a movie like this. Here we go. No Hard Feelings, Sony Pictures. Here you go.
Hi. Mind if I touch your wiener?
What?
Dog.
Stop! Gary!
Court order for asset seizures.
So they're taking my car?
You went radio silent on me.
Is that what this is about? Just last night, I thought, I missed that fucker.
Is that true?
Buongiorno! That's my cousin. Gary, I swear to God, he's my cousin. He's my second cousin.
There's something seriously wrong with you.
I'm an Uber driver and I don't have a car. I'm gonna lose my house.
You think I chose this? Look at this.
Need a car, date our son this summer, and bring him out of his shell before college. In exchange, we'll give you a Buick Regal. Date is in quotes. It's gotta be a joke, right?
No, have you seen these helicopter parents? I'm surprised they're not gonna fuck them themselves.
We've just been so worried about our son.
He's going to Princeton in the fall.
Oh, I've heard of it. You know, we tried everything to bring him out of his shell.
He doesn't come out of his room, he doesn't talk to girls, doesn't drink.
So when you say date him, do you mean date him or date him? Yes.
Date him. Date him hard.
Okay. I'll date his brains out. He volunteers at the animal shelter. Hi. Mind if I touch your wiener?
What?
Your dog. How about I give you a ride home?
This isn't the way to my house.
It's a shortcut. You're my hostage. What you got down there? Something for me?
Why?
You tried kidnapping me!
You're 19. Grow up.
This kid is unfuckable.
Have a drink together.
He'll have a Long Island iced tea.
This is the worst iced tea I've ever had.
One thing about me, I'm the baddest alive.
Dance parties.
Don't know what to do. I just know my mom would have wanted me to save the house.
He's probably just nervous. Why don't you loosen him up?
We can go skinny dipping.
What about sharks?
None here.
Jellyfish?
Not this season.
It's really the lack of lifeguards.
Just get the fuck in here right now.
Okay. I'm just a bit of a romantic.
He's actually really sweet. The best part about getting older is not giving a fuck what people think.
I'm an adult now. I can make my own decisions.
That's good.
You want to savor it. Savor it.
Come on, you're getting out of here. You don't belong here.
Let's touch me.
Get away from her!
Stay.
Oh, fuck!
We should go.
Maddie, you can't outrun the cops!
I can't lose my license.
No Hard Feelings, Jennifer Lawrence. You want to just slap that kid upside his head, man. So that's the No Hard Feelings Red Band trailer. Also, another trailer for you guys real quick. The Blackening is coming out in June. Hilarity will ensue on June 19th. Juneteenth. The Blackening. This is a movie based on all, because you all know, whenever you have black people, they're the first to die in a horror movie. Well, what do you do when everybody's black in the whole movie? Who's gonna die first? That's what this is kind of based on. I've made jokes about it on this show. Here's the trailer for The Blackening from Lionsgate. Here we go.
reunion about to crack. We got the whole crew back.
Really, bitch? A cabin in the woods.
Now let's get it all in perspective for all y'all enjoyment.
You still a slave to the white man?
Y'all gonna start calling my wife the white man, all right?
Newness, here's the anthem. Put your hands up that you shoot with. Count your
But
loot
we
with.
do on Juneteenth.
Hell no.
Where are you going?
Look for the fuse box. What kind of house is this? No, thank you.
The Blackening?
Whoa! Jim Crow Monopoly.
Shit probably runs on racism.
Pick a card and save Morgan.
What do you mean, save Morgan?
Refuse to play, and she dies.
I think we have to play the game. In your predicament, the black character is always the first to die. I will spare your lives if you sacrifice the person you deem the blackest.
The blackest?
Nobody should judge anybody in here, bro.
You have 2 minutes to decide.
Shanika, she say nigga the most.
Nigga.
See?
Wait.
Y'all can't pick me. I'm gay.
Oh, Clifton. Yeah.
I can prove I'm not the blackest.
Prove it.
I've never seen Friday. I voted for Trump.
What?
Twice.
Big money, playboy, your time's up.
We need a plan.
Don't say it. Don't you dare.
Don't say this dumb shit.
We have to split up.
Your time has run out. It's time to die.
There's a crazy person out here hunting us. You got Rosa Parks on your shirt, right? Would she be sitting down right now?
I mean, that's exactly what she did.
You can shut up.
Made you look. Made you look.
Why black women gotta save everyone all the damn time?
Made you look.
Yo, stop playing.
I got a gun.
That's 2 DMX. What are you doing?
The Blackening, June 19th. Man, I can't wait. I can't wait to see this. I'm going to be, oh man, I'm ready to go. Ready to go. Check it out. Let's get into the sports booth. Free agency period has begun in the NFL. Crazier than last year already. Jonnu Smith, tight end for the Patriots, gone. See ya. Atlanta Falcons, 7th round pick. I'll take that. Jonnu Smith was injured for the 2 years that he was here most of the time. He can't block. Hunter Henry played better than him. You gots to go. Bye-bye. NFL free agency also. Jonathan Jones. 2 years, $20 million, $13 million signing bonus. He will be here next year. This man was at the top of the list, cornerbacks in the NFL last year. He's the man. So he'll be back. Thank you, Devin McCourty, who retired. He's going into broadcasting, and he also is doing his humanitarian stuff. If you guys didn't know, Devin and Jason McCourty are responsible for going around the country and getting black men out of jail who have been jailed wrongly. They recently just got a man here in Brockton, if I'm not mistaken, not the one from New York. There was another man from Brockton that they had worked on and got him released from jail. They had coerced witnesses and manipulated lineups and things of that sort. When you hear some of the things that they did back in the day so they could get a conviction, so somebody could get themselves a nice little cushy political job because they put so many people in jail, the stuff that you hear, oh man, I don't want to even get Ken Diesel on the show to talk about that craziness and get that stuff going. But Devin McCourty, thank you for all your service. Also, the Raiders have now signed Jacoby Myers, who was here. One of the best targets for Mac Jones last year. Jacoby Myers is going to the Raiders. 3 years, $33 million. So he did get around his market value. So that's going to reunite him with Jimmy G, who we're going to talk about in a second. The Niners defensive tackle, Jason Hargrove. 4 years, $34 million contract. He's going to the Niners. Jason Hargrove to the Niners with Bosa and all them dudes? Oh, man. Also in free agency, Jimmy Garoppolo going to the Raiders. Going to get reunited with Josh McDaniels. So you got Jimmy G going to the Raiders. You just got Jacoby Myers going to the Raiders. The Raiders might be something really good, and the Patriots actually played the Raiders again this year. Also in free agency, the rumors are abound that Aaron Rodgers will be headed to the Jets, but it hasn't been finalized yet. It's going to be a trade. The word is that there's two things going on right now. Aaron Rodgers wants a list of wide receivers for the Jets to bring in, one of those being Odell Beckham Jr., who held a workout this week that the Patriots were actually at, which might be the reason why they let Jacoby Myers walk. And if you're letting receivers go, Bill Belichick, let me just whisper something in your ear. Let me just whisper something in your ear right here. Receivers get rid of Nelson Aguilar. Okay. XFL. 38,000 people showed up. St. Louis Battlehawks. Football is back. 24-11. They won and they sold out. They are the first XFL sell out 38,000 in attendance. Guess what, people? Week 5 in the XFL. Guess what's going down in St. Louis? After having 38,000, they have got the matchup of the week. The DC Defenders are undefeated. They're heading to St. Louis, who they played 2 weeks ago and gave them their first loss. And that is also the game that made headlines because they had a big-ass brawl at the end of the game and 3 players got ejected. So now St. Louis is sitting at home with 38,000 fans ready for DC Defenders to come into the house for week 5. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. It's about to get ugly in St. Louis. This will be the game to watch. If you haven't watched an XFL game yet, this is the game you're going to want to sit your ass down and watch. Also, this past week in NASCAR was in Phoenix. William Byron took home back-to-back wins. He won last week. I really didn't mention it because people were bashing the hell out of him, but I was proud of him because William Byron came up into NASCAR through the game console sim circuit of racing. In other words, this is a kid who didn't race go-karts and all that stuff. He didn't race the mini trucks. He started racing at the sim level on game consoles and PC. And then he decided when he got older, I want to try this racing thing out. And he was driving for Toyota for a little while. And then he got picked up by Hendrick Motorsports. Hendrick Motorsports put him in the seat. And 2 weeks in a row, this kid has outdrove some of the best drivers. And he's made moves at the end of the race, taking over. Last week, I think it was Harvick last week. And this week it was Larson. As you can see in the photo there, he was way ahead of the crowd. Way ahead of the crowd. So all of a sudden now, because everybody last week was saying, oh, it's a fluke. He's a sim racer. It's a fluke. Now he's won the second week in a row. And now it's like, oh, okay, we may need to start bringing sim racers in to drive our cars. NASCAR's on to something right now. Travis Pastrana, week 1, Daytona 500, Travis Pastrana came in. He finished 11th, led 2 laps. This is a guy who's been in extreme sports, never raced a NASCAR race in his life. He comes in and does that. So he brought a whole group of extreme sport fans to the sport. And now you've got this kid sim racing. Oh, man. It's about to get ugly in NASCAR. All time. Biden bombshells. Let's see here. In the Biden bombshells, why did Silicon Valley Bank collapse? That's the big question. They're the second bank to collapse this year. Everybody is pointing fingers. Everybody's wondering what's going on. This week, Politico also held their own opinions from different people. And this is what they had to say. This is coming from Politico. Politico says battle lines are already being drawn over what caused SVB's stunning demise. Progressives and some investors are blaming the Federal Reserve because of the interest rates. You know, they're raking up the heights and stuff. They're saying that led to it. And that's put a burden on banks. Democrats are saying that Trump's deregulation of the banks in 2018 led to this because he removed critical safeguards. But other regulators are saying that they failed to spot red flags in the bank's investment portfolio and customer base. Most financial people out there, let's take all the political people out of this conversation. Most of the people who deal in finance, Wall Street, finances, and banks and all this stuff, they are 100% saying it had nothing to do with the rates. This had nothing to do with Trump. This had nothing to do with Biden. This financial people are saying this absolutely had to do with poor management, poor communication, and I forget the third thing that they said led to this, because banks don't just fall overnight. But here's another one for you guys. There's another story that came out involving the Silicon Valley Bank demise. There was a group of people who got on Twitter, and what they're calling this is what the FDIC and what the DOJ is calling this. They're calling it a Twitter-fueled bank run. So what they do is they go in and they go on social media and they get into these private groups, and what they do is they stir the pot. And for me, I actually talked to my guys in the booth group about this, and in my opinion, I feel like these people are kind of like financial terrorists. You go into social media and then you stir shit up, because the reason why I'm saying this is because the DOJ is talking about some of these people are in the chats out on the internet and they're laughing about what they did. What happened was at SVB on Wednesday of last week, a whole ton of people showed up and withdrew $48 billion from this bank. When that happens, guess what? You're negative. You have no credit. You're done. And this is why, one of the reasons why they crashed, that major withdrawal. So part of this is being blamed on this group of people who stirred this stuff up on Twitter and social media and in some of these private groups. The DOJ says that there's going to be a full investigation. So I'm curious to see what's going to come out of this, because if you've got people who are stirring up craziness like this and having banks crash because they're manipulating investors, oh man, that's scary. That's scary stuff. So keep an eye on this, guys. A lot of people don't follow good stories. This Silicon Valley story is something you really want to keep your eye on. Also, Lauren Boebert. You guys follow my Facebook page. There was a lot of conversation about this. Lauren Boebert announces she's a grandmother at 36. Her 17-year-old son got a young girl pregnant. And for me, I had thought that he could be charged with statutory rape because he's 17. And the word was that she's 15, but they held off until she was 16. But Viana Marie was actually in my Facebook page and posted. And in Colorado, the statutory rape is only if there's 4 years of age or more. They were 2 years within age, so there's no statutory rape. Plus, they're both minors, so you can't be charged. So it's more of a moral thing. And that's the thing that pisses me off, is because Lauren Boebert, they talk about Democrats, they talk about all this crap back and forth, yet here you are. Don't throw stones if you live in a glass house. And somebody said, well, her son is sticking by those values. Well, Lauren Boebert had a kid real young, and yes, she's had this success and got her GED, and yes, she's had this success and has become a U.S. state rep. But guess what? At the end of the day, was she really happy that her 17-year-old son came into her and said, Mom, I got something? Do you think Lauren Boebert's people were happy to find out that her son knocked up a girl that was underage in most people's eyes? I don't think so. I'm sorry. I don't think so. I don't think Lauren was as happy as the face she put on when they went public with the story. I don't think she was happy at all. I think she was pissed. I think as a mother, she was like, you seen how hard I had to work. So why are you going to work just as hard? I'm pretty sure that came out of her mouth. The problem here is that Lauren Boebert got money. They got money. So her son isn't going to struggle. He isn't going to suffer raising this kid. They've got money. Unlike some of these other young kids who are thrust into parenthood at the age of 17 and 16. They don't have those resources. So that's the point that I'm trying to make. I know some people out there, well, this and that and this. It's whatever. It's whatever. Linda, what's going on? I see you out there in the chat. She says, these clowns are destroying our country. The CEO, CFO sold majority of the stocks prior. They did. It's all, and all these politicians are all involved in this inside trading. Democrats and Republicans. They're all involved with this. I've been calling this out since day one. Since day one, I've been calling it out. When MTG was talking about legalizing marijuana and she was complaining about Disney, and then they released her stock report, and Marjorie Taylor Greene has stock in 3 dispensaries and she has stock in Disney, her and her husband. Hypocrites. This is elitist. This isn't about Republicans and Democrats. This is elitist, and they play a deadly, dangerous game. And yes, you're right, Linda. A lot of these people were tipped off that this bank was going to crash, and they sold their stocks off too. You're exactly right. Exactly right. Also, 2024, I've said it. DeSantis is going to be that guy. I think DeSantis is going to get the nods from the Republican Party. Pence would, but you still have a group of people who are pissed about Pence not doing what he should have did. And here's the ugly, crazy thing. Trump's out there now because Pence spoke at a dinner and said that he was wrong for what he did on what was on January 6th. And Pence is going to announce he's going to run. He's testing the waters. Here's the problem. If you're Republican, they better figure it out. They better figure it out, because if you go into this with Trump, Pence, and DeSantis, your party is split 3 ways. And if Trump is still around to make noise, it's going to be ugly noise. He's already talking crap about DeSantis everywhere he goes. And it's the same way he talked about Biden and stuff and Kamala, but he's talking about DeSantis like that. And guess what? When he talks about DeSantis like that, he's pissing off DeSantis Republican supporters. When he starts talking about Pence, he's pissing off Republican Pence supporters. So Trump he's dangerous. He is dangerous to the Republican Party. And there's a lot of Republicans right now. So he showed up at CPAC. He showed up at CPAC this last weekend. And guess what? They said he don't have the power that he does. The only people who really showed up were those MAGA crazies that showed up for his support. That the support is dwindling a lot. And as more people make themselves known that they're running in 2024, it's going to pull from that MAGA group. People are going to say, well, you know what? I agree with what Pence did in regards to January 6th. They're gonna support Pence. And then again, like I said, DeSantis has a major. I think right now, if you had to say, I think DeSantis has 60% of the Republican base. That's my opinion. I think he has 60% of the Republican base. I think what he's doing is building and adding to what the Republican Party needs. The question is when will the Republicans come out and give him that nod? When will the RNC give him that nod? I think they won't do it until they know that Trump is dead in the water, because they know if they announce this early, Trump's going to unleash holy hell on the Republican Party. Holy hell on the Republican Party, which is why this whole January 6th insurrection type thing is really being pushed by the Republicans, because they really want him in jail. So he can't run. A lot of people are saying, oh, the Democrats pushed this whole insurrection. No, the Republicans are pushing it because they want him out of the picture. They don't want him involved in this picture for 20. If the RNC has it their way, in my opinion, the RNC wants Pence and DeSantis to be the 2 front runners. And who's going to be their party leader? They don't want Trump. They didn't want Trump in the beginning. Trump was a Republican and was a Democrat in Republicans' clothing back in the day when he ran. They didn't even want him. Trump forced them to give him that nomination, that nod. So Linda says most Trumpers have left his claws. Exactly. Yep. Exactly. Yep. You see Fox. Fox is a great. Fox is probably the greatest example of MAGA supporters leaving MAGA. Fox. Tucker Carlson got exposed, and Tucker Carlson don't care he got exposed. Tucker Carlson's right there, throwing him under the bus. All of these Fox people. Kellyanne Conway, she's getting a divorce from her husband, George, but she still had the time to come out and throw Trump under the bus. After Trump was unprofessional, she's announced her divorce. It's a hard time, and Trump makes a statement about her husband. Granted, yeah, they're getting a divorce, but who are you to come out and make the most horrible statements about somebody's husband as they go through? And next of all, like she said, I've got a daughter who everybody already knows suffers from mental issues of her and her mother. And Trump goes out and makes the comments he made on Truth Social about their divorce. Come on now. Yeah, it's craziness. Crazy. It's 8:28. I got 2 minutes left. But it's craziness. Craziness. I think that's it. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Gonna get ready to get out of here. Holding off this show. He said Fox backed him because of Bernie Maddox. Yeah, because Rupert Murdoch didn't want Rupert Murdoch hated Trump. He hated Trump. He was the one that called it early when it was the election. He was the one that called it early, and everybody's like, "Whoa!" And Fox, because Rupert Murdoch can't stand Fox. So yeah, it's gonna get ugly. And like I said, they want him out of the picture. They want him out of the picture because if they have to give that nomination, either Pence or DeSantis, Trump's going to burn it down. He's going to burn it down. Let me get into my outro banners here. I thank everybody for supporting the show, buying the beanies, holding on with us. Also, all the shows I produce, Maddie C Sports for you and me. Maddie, get well. Maddie C just had knee surgery, so he's recuperating. Happy Hour with Lito. Oscar Mike Radio, the VA show that we did, premieres this week, so check it out on Thursday night. Also this weekend, Mayor Robert Sullivan's State of the City on March 16th, 6:30 p.m. at Brockton High School. If you want to be informed and know what's going on with the city of Brockton, you need to be here or you need to watch on YouTube. It's only 1 hour. 1 hour, State of the City, Mayor Robert Sullivan. Make sure you tune in. Everyone is invited. And there's a lot of things he's got going on. I'm really interested to hear about this growth of the commuter rail between Brockton and the MBTA. It's coming. Also, my man Mr. Melodic is going to be performing on March 17th, 21 plus, Fury Rage album release party. Check it out at the Raven, 258 Pleasant Street in Worcester. Also, Booty Vortex will be performing at the 14th Annual Food Drive. That's going to be April 15th. I'm actually trying to get Perry Palucci on the show to talk about this event. Sons of Italy. You also got to make sure you bring some canned goods. Doors open at 7. Music is at 8 p.m. And Boom Squad Radio, open mic night, Friday nights, VFWV at the VFW, 46 Bedford Street in Fall River. Also, as I talked about at the top of the show, Vianna Marie did a photo shoot. Kimberly Ann, Empowerment Photography for Women. Reach out to her. Schedule your empowerment photo session. Vianna Marie put a nice post up this week in regards to her photo shoot. Again, Kimberly Ann, Empowerment Photography. Also, Phenom Radio, check it out. Phenom Radio, broadcasting 24/7. Thank you for showing the love. And Vianna Marie's record and songs are being profiled on that website, on their playlist across Spotify. And that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to be it. We're going to get out of here. Say our goodbyes. It's 8:30. Again, thank you everybody for tuning in the show, hanging out with us and supporting us. But hey, do me a favor, SpongeBob. Do me a favor. I'll be back next week. Take us home.
See you next Tuesday.
Thank you for listening to The Booth on Hoobazoo and HatcherRadio.com. Please follow the Facebook page and subscribe to the podcast at Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. The Booth is a Sinister One production hosted by Sinister One.
I've got to start hanging out with friends that are a little more intelligent and understand politics and stuff. It's just that I'm up on this level up here, and all my friends are down here. Me, nah. You guys, nah. Maybe a little more down in here. Screw you guys, I'm going home.
I smoke, I drink, I do my thing. These bitches hating, so you know I got to make it plain. Don't do cocaine with your chick, my main. We stick together, true forever, yeah, you know we bang. I miss those days, which was easy. If only I made it, bitch, don't repeat. Now that I done upgraded, I've been upstate, and y'all think I'm playing. And I got a hit now for these weak ass hoes who think I ain't slaying. Try me, and I'll probably end up laughing, cause I never back down. I'm that chick with a clean ass whip, I don't need that shit, I got my own now. I get hurt, I get tired of fussing, fighting, guess I gotta crack down. Don't mess with me, cause on everything, I'ma have to bring the whole city out.
WHOOBAZOO, that's Whoobazoo.com.
Enter website, enter website, enter website, enter website.